Okay, so we're going to be focusing on posture today. It's one of those things that, used to happen once we got older, but now we're seeing posture issues even with younger people because of our daily habits, especially with all of our computering and tech advances are actually making things worse for our posture. But basically what happens over time from our daily habits is our head starts to come forward, our shoulders round, our chest sinks. So all that is not good for our health in multiple ways. The extra load on our neck and the muscles in our neck increase with every inch forward. So in proper alignment, pretty much our ears are in line with our shoulder and our chin is parallel with the floor. So as soon as we move forward with our head, it kind of hangs forward, adds a lot of weight. So our head is about the weighs the same as like a bowling ball to start with. So when we start going forward, our neck and shoulders have to do that much more work. And eventually they kind of start to weaken and get stuck. So when our body starts to compensate, that's very detrimental for our posture. The muscles tighten up in our neck and shoulders. They get very stiff and they get inflexible. That's why we do so many of these, shoulder rolls back and forth. It causes neck and shoulder pain, chronic tension headaches. It can cause the spine starts to change shape, and the neck starts to flatten out, and all the little intervertebral discs begin to compress and flatten, and our whole spine gets weakened. So according to the American Journal of Pain Management, we believe that posture affects and moderates every physiological function from breathing to hormonal production. Spinal pain, headaches, mood, blood pressure, pulse, lung capacity are among the functions that are most easily influenced by posture. Hyperkyphosis, which is that rounding of the upper back, is a contributing factor to age-related issues. There's a growing risk of fractures when we have this hyperkyphosis, independent of our bone density. Restricted breathing with our sunken chest, we get less oxygen, which increases our anxiety, can increase our anxiety and depression, and decrease our ability to complete our daily tasks. One study actually showed that there's a 44% increase in the rate of mortality in people that have hyperkyphosis. So that's kind of all the negative information, but the positives that yoga can help. A regular practice of yoga can help build our core strength. Our movements lubricate our discs. We strengthen our muscles to help support our spine. And we also have an increased awareness of how we do hold ourselves. So, when we find ourselves slouching, we know what to do. We say, uh-oh, I'm not sitting properly, because we are more aware of what we're doing and how we're feeling. When our neck starts getting tired, we said, why isn't my neck hurt? And it might be our posture, and we can kind of make those connections. So with that said, we are going to start our practice today focusing on our posture, our alignment, and what muscles we're working to help improve and maintain our upright and healthy posture. So let's come to seated mountain pose to get started today. Feel free to put some music on in the background if you'd like to. It's not necessary, but sometimes it kind of help keep us relaxed. So as we sit comfortably in our chairs, we want both sit bones resting fully on our chair, feet resting fully on our floor. And we're going to align our joints. So ankles and knees are stacked, or knees are stacked over our ankles, I should say. Knees and hips are in alignment. And then we're going to bring our shoulders over our hips. So if you could see yourself from sideways, you would see knees directly over ankles, shoulders directly over hips. Bring your chin parallel to the floor. And if it's comfortable, try to align the ears with the shoulders. So we're stacking our joints. So just take a moment. Feel free to close your eyes here. If you're more comfortable with your eyes open, feel free to keep your eyes open. And just take a moment and notice how we're feeling. If this is normal for us, or if it feels a little awkward, if it feels a little tight or stiff. Again, there's no judgments, but we just want to kind of get a starting point. So let's gently begin to lengthen our spine. We're going to reach the crown of our head towards the ceiling and feel kind of our spine start to align, the muscles along each side of our spine activate. Take one more inhalation, and as we exhale, we're just going to slowly relax those muscles, stacking those vertebrae one on top of the other. So we should feel a little more relaxed, but hopefully a little taller, a little more centered. So take a moment again with a kind of a mental visual of 3 columns. We have a column running from our left shoulder to our left hip, nice and straight and strong. We have a column from our right shoulder to our right hip, nice and straight and strong. And a column that goes from the crown of our head to the bottom tip of our tailbone. This has little gentle curves in it. Our neck has a gentle curve, our low back has a gentle curve to support the weight of our head, to support the movements of our body the way God intended. So take a few moments here just to find a balance. Let all the muscles gently hug around the bones and joints in this seated mountain posture. Our spine is in neutral. We should feel centered, stable, and strong. We should be able to breathe nice and fully in and out through our nose. Let the breath flow naturally. Inhalations and exhalations smoothing out, evening out. Lengthening and deepening. Our bodies beginning to relax. Our minds beginning to calm and center. Our bodies letting go of the stress and tension that we hold on to many times in our upper back and lower back. And our minds can let go of our worries, our anxious thoughts, bringing our full presence to our practice this morning, connected with our breath and aware of our bodies. Let's also take a moment to acknowledge any areas of our body that might need a little extra care today. And as we move through our practice this morning, staying with our breath, let's listen to and honor our bodies and adjust our movements to meet our body's needs for today. Let's take a few more moments to breathe, to feel that relaxing energy flowing through our body. To feel centered, our minds calm, our full presence in the moment. Just taking one more check-in with our spinal alignment, with our posture. Let's take a nice inhalation. We're going to gently reach the crown of our head towards the ceiling once more. And this time as we exhale, we're going to gently let the right ear relax towards the right shoulder. Take an inhale here, exhale. We're going to gently roll the chin down to the chest. And then flow left ear to left shoulder. Let's go back to chin to chest. Gently flowing, kind of making a little half circle here. Gently starting to warm up our neck. So remember, we get a lot of tension, we get a lot of tightness, we get a lot of stiffness in our neck, shoulders, and upper back. When our posture isn't aligned properly. So we're just gently warming up those muscles and joints, opening up some space, massaging out that tension. And the next time we bring our chin to chest, we're going to slowly float that chin back up to neutral, which is parallel to the floor. So let's inhale and gently lift our chin up. So we're not tilting it back, we're extending it up, gently opening up this front side of our neck, and then slowly tuck it down towards our chest. Inhale, extending it up. So a very slow nodding of our head. We're moving with our breath so we can check in and listen to our body. Finding our comfortable range of motion. One more inhalation. And this time as we exhale, let's bring that chin back to neutral. We're going to flow one more way. Inhale, we're going to extend our chin forward. So that's how, even though we don't think about it, this is how our head is most of the time. Now we're going to pull it all the way back. Keep that chin parallel. We're not tucking our chin down, but we're pulling our head back, even a little, extend it farther. Feel those muscles strengthen in the back of our neck. Inhale, coming forward. So almost like a turtle bringing its head in and out of a shell, or a rooster moving its head forward and back. Starting to get a little bit of crunching and cracking as I pull my head back as those muscles warm up. And then let's float our head back to a neutral position. Take a breath or two here. We have one more direction to go. Now that we've warmed up the front, sides, and back of our neck, let's inhale and gently turn our head to the right. So an important movement, especially for driving. So again, we're moving with our breath, we're moving with awareness, we're moving within our comfortable range of motion, keeping our chin parallel to the floor, keeping that alignment of our spine as we gently float to the right one last time, back to center, and then to the left. As we come back to center, let's bring our arms down to our side. So we're going to move to our shoulders here. Let's warm up our arms a little bit by extending this right arm straight up. Go as high as is comfortable and then slowly lower. If our shoulders are really tight, put a little bend in the elbow and maybe don't go up so high. So just alternating arm flows just to gently warm up across the top of our shoulders, the front of our shoulders, the back of our shoulders and arms. Good. Let's do each side one more time. And then we're going to flow from the side. So same thing, except this time we're going to go up again. Keep the elbow bent if we need to. Be nice and easy with our flow. We're still moving with our breath. Warming up that shoulder joint a little bit differently. Warming up across the upper back. Getting into our mid-back area a little bit more. Let's do each side one more time. And now let's bring our arms to our side. So we still have our alignment. Shoulders are still over hips. We're going to do our Celtic Cross today. So we're going to warm up the shoulder areas and all the muscles that basically go from the center of our body, so sternum or between our shoulder blades, out to our shoulders. So these are the muscles that get tight or tense from our daily posture. So let's start with the right side. We're going to start by gently bringing that shoulder all the way up to our ear, and then slowly reaching it down towards the floor. Coming back up, and then back down. So finding what our full range of motion is. Still moving with our breath, still moving with our awareness. One more squeeze up, bringing it up towards the ear, and then slowly, gently reach through the fingertips. Try to create as much space between our ear and the top of our shoulder, and then float it back to neutral. We might already feel a little imbalanced right to left. So we have 2 more ways to go. So next inhalation, this right shoulder is going to draw back. So squeeze that right shoulder blade in. You might want to turn your palm forward as well. Feel that nice gentle stretch through the front here. Come back to center and then turn the palm back as we draw the shoulder forward. Little gentle stretch in the upper back part and back to center. So draw that shoulder back and center and draw it front. So we're not lifting or lowering it now, we're just going front to back. So now we've got our 4 points of our cross and we're going to put them all together. So we're going to come all the way up to our ear. We're going to come forward. We're going to go down. We're going to go back. Up, forward, down, and back. So once you have those 4 points of our cross, smooth it out into more of a circle or oval. And then bring it back to neutral. We have 1 more direction to go. So we might be feeling even more of an imbalance between both sides. But let's go the other way. So shoulder up to our ear. We're going to go back, down, and forward. So kind of let the whole arm move. So when we come back and down, palm forward, palm in, palm back. Again, move with awareness. Anyway, as long as you're not holding your breath, doesn't really matter how you're breathing. Let's do 1 more circle in this direction. And then let both arms rest comfortably by our side. Take a few moments noticing the difference between the side we've done and the side we haven't. An aha moment for our brain-body connection on how our shoulder can feel when it's less tense, when it's better aligned. So here we go, other side. So left, draw that shoulder up to our ear and then bring it down, back up and down. So gentle movements. Remember, we're not forcing our body to move anyway it's not ready to move. Go in your range of motion. 1 more, drawing it up. 1 more, releasing it down, and then come back to neutral. Take a breath. Let's go forward and back. So we're going to gently squeeze that shoulder blade in, bring that shoulder back, palm turns forward, come back to center, and then go the other way. Going back, and then gently drawing that shoulder front. 1 more time back. So we've got our 4 corners, that range of motion for that shoulder joint. Let's come back to center and put those 4 points together, coming all the way up, all the way forward, all the way down and back. Once you have your 4 corners, smooth it out into a smooth circular flow. And then back to neutral. Let all those muscles relax for breath. And then we have 1 more direction. So up, back, down, and forward. So same 4 corners, opposite direction of our flow. And just make sure you're not holding your breath. We're moving and breathing. Let's do 1 more time. And then just come back to neutral. Keep that space in your shoulders. Bring your hands back to your lap and just take a few breaths. Maybe feeling a little more space in our neck, across the front of our shoulders, top of our shoulders, back of our shoulders. Take a moment to just acknowledge all that space. And then we're going to move to our spine. So let's scoot forward in our chairs a little bit. If we're sitting pretty far behind, we're going to do our cat-cow flow. And I'm going to turn sideways just so we can see what we're doing. Hands are going to be on our thighs. As we inhale, we're gently going to lift our heart. Bring your shoulder blades on the back. Lift your gaze. This is cow pose. So now we're lengthening the front of our spine, opening up some space between the vertebrae. And as we exhale, we're going to pull the belly in. Tuck the tailbone under, round the shoulders forward, tuck the chin, opening up the back of our spine. Inhale, let's flow back to cow. So maybe elbows hug in, tailbone sticks behind. As we exhale, maybe elbows flare out a little bit, opening up that space between the shoulder blades. And let's continue with our flow. So we want to be moving with awareness, just noticing if there's areas of our spine that feel a little tight or stiff. Remember, there's no judgments, there's no expectations, but just awareness. Let's do one more inhale into cow. One more exhalation into cat. And then as we come back to our neutral spine, staying in our mountain pose, let's bring our hands to our hips. So we're going to start to open up the sides of our spine. Nice long spine. As we inhale, we're going to slowly start to lift this right elbow up as we lengthen. So we're opening up the whole right side of our spine here. As we exhale, come back to center. So the other thing we're doing, besides we're working the muscles on either side of our spine, side to side, front to back, we're also gently massaging those little intervertebral discs, compressing one side, opening the other, keeping them nice and lubricated, keeping our spine nice and healthy. If we feel okay, maybe arm can float up to our shoulder, getting a little bit more of a curve, or if our shoulders and spine feels fine, we can add the whole arm flow. So again, we're adjusting to how we feel. Let's do each side one more time. And then as we come back to our mountain pose, maybe feeling a little longer, a little stronger, let's cross our arms. So now that we've warmed up the muscles along our spine, let's do our twist here. Inhaling, twisting gently to the right, back to center, and then gently twisting to the left. Again, breath and movement flowing together. Go at your pace, in your comfortable range of motion. One more flow to the right. One more flow to the left. And as we come back to center, hands come back to our thighs. Take a moment, grab a drink if you need it. Feel free to take water anytime you need. Feel free to roll your shoulders anytime you need. And then we're working down towards our hips, our low back. So we're going to do a stir the pot. So we're going to bring from our feet hip distance apart, we're going to walk our feet a little bit wider. So we can start with one hand on each thigh. We're going to keep our spine long here. We're going to start to pivot around our hips. So as we inhale, we're going to do a slight hinge forward, and then we're going to kind of circle over the right leg, come back up, and then circle over the left. So we can do our flow from here. If we'd like to challenge our core a little bit more without this little support, we can grab our big stirring spoon and we can stir our pot this way. So just starting to warm up that low back area where the spine connects with the hips. Next time when it's convenient, where it feels right, change direction of your stirring. You decide how big of a pot you want to stir. It can be a little pot or it can be a bigger pot. Keep that spine long though. Let's do a few more stirs. And then as we come back to center, walk your feet back in. We should be in our mountain pose. We should feel nice and strong and stable. Let's warm up the front of our hips as we do a nice gentle march. Alternating legs. Just checking in, warming up that hip joint now. So just like we have a lot of muscles that connect our head to our shoulders and upper body, we have a lot of muscles that connect our spine and hips, connecting our legs to the center of our body. So spine is kind of the center point. We have the rib cage that protects our lungs, our heart. Let's lift the right leg and tap out, and then the left leg. So it can be a little tap, it can be a big tap. We're just warming up, we're moving through our range of motion. One more tap out. Good. Then from mountain pose, let's inhale, extend the right leg straight out. Gently reach to the heel. We want this big quadricep muscle to engage, and exhale, release. Left leg does the same. So warming up the knee joints, warming up the leg muscles. Also important for our posture when we're standing is we need strong hips and legs. The next time that right leg extends, we're going to point and flex, warming up our calf muscles, warming up our ankles and feet. Good. And then circle that ankle around. Circles in one direction, circles in the other direction. Slowly lower that leg down, extend the other leg out. So even though we talked a lot about our spine, our posture, and our ability to stand upright actually starts with our feet. When we have problems with our feet, when our ankles are weak, when the leg muscles are weak, that's going to affect how well we can stand and move as well. So let's bring that foot in, give everything a nice little shake. And we're going to finish our warm up with 3 rounds of sun salutations. So here we go. From mountain pose. So breath and movement for any salutation. Go at your own pace, modify as needed. We'll go through nice and slow the first time so we can check in. So let's start with our hands at our hearts. On an inhale, sweeping arms overhead. As we exhale, we're going to bring our arms to cactus and hinge from the hips. So shoulder blades are on our back here. Inhale, draw the elbows in, hands to our thighs. Exhale, keep that spine long, coming into a forward fold. Hands stay on our thighs or they can slide down towards our feet. Inhale, right arm's going to reach out and up. A very gentle twist here. Just warming up that low back a little bit more. Left arm does the same. Draw the belly. Inhale, both arms, spines nice and long, reaching actively through the fingertips. Exhale, arms come down, reach that right leg forward. As we inhale, bring the arms back up, float that right leg down. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, arms overhead. As we exhale, we're going to sweep our arms down, lift this right knee, maybe a march, or maybe we can hug it into our chest. Inhaling. Exhale, other leg. Inhale, arms overhead. We're going to gently bring our arms to cactus, twist to the right. Back to center, and then twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment, feel the energy, warming energy start to flow. We've got 2 more rounds. Inhale, arm sweep overhead. Exhale, cactus with a hinge. Inhale, seated monkey, spine is long. Exhale, keep that spine long as we come to forward fold. Right arm reaches out to the side and up. Find a comfortable position, or we can look down at the floor, we can look sideways, we can look up to our arm. Inhale, both arms up. As we exhale, we're going to keep our arms active. Press through the palms, reach that right leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, other leg, both arms again. Inhale, arms overhead. A sweep down now as we draw that right knee up, maybe hug it in. Inhale. Exhale, other knee. And then we have our twist. Inhale. Nice long spine as we twist to the right. And then twist to the left. Let the muscles do the work. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath, check in, recenter. We have 1 more round to go. Inhale. Exhale, cactus with a hinge. Inhale, seated monkey. Keep that core engaged as we hinge a little farther into forward fold. Right arm. Left arm. Inhale, both arms. Arms down, right leg reaches forward. Inhale. Left leg reaches forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, knee to chest, a nice big arm sweep with a hug if we can. Even just lifting the leg, we're working that hip joint. The muscles are opening up our lower back as we twist. And last twist to the left. Inhale. Exhale, hands come together at our hearts. Take a breath or 2 here. Checking in with our bodies. Feel free to grab a drink, and then we're going to make our way to standing mountain behind our chair. So just like our seated mountain, we want our joints aligned. We want to find our nice straight columns. This time our right column runs from shoulder all the way to our foot, left shoulder to left foot, and again, the length of our spine. Chin is parallel to the floor. Take a few breaths to feel centered, to feel stable, to feel aligned. Take a quick scan, relax any muscles that are overly tight. Activate some muscles that maybe aren't doing their part till we feel very balanced, supported, and stable in our mountain pose. With our next inhale, let's bring both hands to the chair to start. We're going to inhale, right arm is going to reach up and over, a little lateral extension here. Exhale, release it down. And then left arm is going to do the same. Inhale, right side. So just noticing how our muscles are engaging to support staying upright as we go from side to side. So let's challenge ourselves a little bit more. Next time we bring our right arm up and over, we're going to lift our heels and exhale, release. And then left arm up and over, lift the heels. And as we exhale, lower. Let's go back to the right and the left. We're going to do it 2 more times, right and left, or if we'd like a little more challenge, maybe both arms as we lift our heels. Exhale, release. Other arm or both arms again. And then release. Good, hands on the chair. Give those hips a little shake. And let's move the other way. So both hands on the chair. Inhale, right arm's going to reach from the front overhead. So again, remember, you can bend your elbow. Lift as high as is comfortable for your shoulder, alternating arms. And now we're going to add a little balance for our lower body. Next time we inhale, right arm reaches forward, we're going to lift our toes, coming back on our heels. Hold onto the chair with the other hand for sure. And here we go, left arm, rocking back on our heels. So all our toes are going to lift. Maybe just our toes, maybe our full foot. Let's do each side one more time. We're not going to do both arms with this one, don't worry. Good, then both hands on the chair, shake everything out, roll the shoulders a little bit. And then we're going to keep our feet hip distance apart, holding onto the chair. Take an inhalation here. As we exhale, we're going to start to hinge from the hips and then bend your knees, moving into a chair pose. So maybe we're going to sit ourselves on a stool, maybe a little bit lower chair, but the knees stay in alignment and they stay behind the toes. The spine stays long, then press through the heels to come up. Inhale into chair, exhale, press to come up. We can add an arm reach forward as we inhale and exhale. And let's do both arms if we can. And this next chair pose we're going to hold. So find whatever type of chair you want to sit on. Your core is strong, your spine is long. Bring your shoulder blades on your back. So you should feel nice and strong in this pose. We're strengthening our hips, our glutes, our legs, our spine. Take one more inhalation and exhale. Let's come out of chair. Give both legs a nice little shake. Little strut here, roll the shoulders. So we work the back of the hips. We're going to work the side of the hips now. So these are the muscles that help keep us nice and strong and stable, help our spine stay nice and long, help with our daily movements. So let's shift our weight to our left leg. Inhale, right leg is going to come out, tap out if you'd like, lift out if you can, and then release that down. Let's do the left leg just once, just to warm up our hips. Slide that left leg out, tap it down, or lift it up to the side. This time we're going to inhale, right leg is going to come up to this side, and we're going to keep our toes pointed forward. So toes are facing front, spine is nice and long, so we're not tilting to the side, and we're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Reach gently through the crown of the head. Left leg is active, core is active. We're strengthening this outer hip on the right. Exhale, let's release it down. Give it a little shake. We have a few more lifts to go on the right side. So this time, let's inhale, right leg out. It can tap out, it can lift out just an inch, and then turn your toes up. So your toes are kind of facing the ceiling, towards the ceiling, holding here. So maybe feeling it a little differently in this leg, different part of our hip. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Exhale, release. Little shake out. We have one more way to go. Right leg out, tap out, lift out, and then lift the heel. Holding here. So spine still is long. We still have our left shoulder, hip, and foot in alignment. We have 2 of our 3 columns still perfectly straight and strong, and then slowly release. Give both legs a nice little shake out. We have one more, so we have to do the left side now. So let's, from mountain, shift the weight to the right leg. Left foot taps out, lift it maybe just an inch, point those toes straight forward. Breathing here. So now we have our right shoulder, hip, foot in alignment. Spine is still in alignment. Exhale, release that left leg down. Shake out those muscles. Here we go. Next flow, left leg out, lift, turn the toes to face the ceiling. As best you can. They're not going to go exactly to the ceiling maybe, but take a few breaths here. Feeling our leg muscles getting nice and strong, our hips getting nice and strong. Exhale, release, shake it all out. We got one more way to go. So inhale, left leg taps out, lift it out, and then heel, reaching toward the ceiling. So just feel those little differences in those muscles, and we need a balance of strength in all those muscles to keep us nice and strong, to keep us independent. And then slowly release. Good. Let's give everything a nice little shake. We can walk back a little bit and kind of just do, a little hip switch here, hip stretch. So we're going to work the back of our glutes a little bit here. So from our mountain pose, we're going to step our right foot behind us, and then we're going to lift and lower that right leg. Feeling those glute muscles engaged. Keep that spine long. So we still have shoulders to hips in alignment. Good. Slide that leg back in. Left leg goes behind. And then lift and lower. So we just want to feel the glute muscles activate and release. Activate and release. And then slide it back in. Give everything a nice little shake. Let's add the opposite arm. So we're going to bring the the right leg back. The left arm can reach straight forward or come a little higher. And then we're going to lift and hold here. Take a few breaths and then slowly release. Let's do the other side. Left leg back, right arm forward. So you decide how high that arm is going to go, and then we're going to lift that back leg, extend the arm, breathing here. So we have a lot of muscles working. Nice, smooth, relaxing breaths. Exhale, release. And let's do a few more struts again. Maybe shake out one leg, shake out the other. And let's just do a few marches just to release those glutes. So just lift one knee and the other. And as we come to our mountain pose once more, we're going to do a warrior one. So from mountain pose, feet are hip distance apart, step your right foot back, turn your right toes out to the right a little bit. So you have a nice wide base in the back, left toes are facing forward. As we inhale, bend just the left knee. So spine stays long, shoulders and hips are still in alignment. straighten that left leg. So let's start with our hands on the chair. And just check in. You should feel stable. If you feel wobbly, walk that left foot out. If your left knee doesn't feel safe, adjust so that it does feel safe. And now we're going to add an arm movement. So with our left leg straight, right arm is going to reach overhead. Turn the palm forward as we exhale, bend the left knee, bend the right elbow, and then straight back up. The next time we bend the left knee, we're going to bend that right elbow, keep it bent, relax the top of the shoulder, gently squeeze that right shoulder blade in. So we can stay here, left hand on the chair for stability, or maybe the left arm can come up to meet the right. Squeeze that left shoulder blade in. So we've got this nice open space across our chest. We've got the back where it gets weak and tight, nice and strong as we draw those shoulder blades gently towards each other. We've got our hips nice and strong. Take 3 breaths. Full inhalations and exhalations. And then with our next breath, let's bring our hands back to our chair first. And then we're going to step out of our warrior one and do a nice little strut here. Take a moment in mountain, maybe feeling a little different, the right and left sides of our body. So let's move to the other side so we can balance ourselves out. So we're going to step our left foot back. So remember, we're on railroad tracks. We're in mountain pose, so legs stay hip distance apart. They can be wider railroad tracks for stability. Turn your left toes out for a wider base in the back, and then bend and straighten this right leg. So adjust so that you feel comfortable, you feel stable, your knee feels safe. It should be tracking straight towards your second and third toe, but not past your toes. And then let's add the left arm. Left arm's overhead. We're going to bend and extend. So as the knee bends, the elbow bends. And you should feel that left shoulder blade area sliding up, sliding down. The next time we bend the right knee, bend the left elbow. We're going to hold here. Keep that spine nice and long. Draw that left shoulder blade a little tighter into the back ribs. Feel free to add the right arm in cactus as well. So we're strong and stable through our lower body. Spine is nice and strong. We've got a nice open chest, open shoulders, strong back. One more inhalation, exhale. Let's bring our hands to the chair first, then we can step out of mountain. Give everything a nice little shake, and then we're going to walk back into a downward dog. So hands on the chair. We're going to hinge from the hips here. So as we hinge, our spine stays long. We're going to walk our legs away from our chair, like we're trying to put our tailbone against the wall behind us, holding on to our chair. Feel this nice stretch along both sides of our spine. Bend your knees a little bit and really release through that low back as well. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then slowly, we're going to make our way out of downward dog, back to mountain. Roll the shoulders. Take a breath here. So our balance pose today, we're going to do our tightrope pose. So we're going to need a lot of core strength here. So we're going to keep the chair very close. We're going to start by stepping. So make an imaginary line or tightrope. So we're going to step our right foot onto our tightrope. And then we're going to put our left foot on our tightrope directly in front of our right. So heel, left heel to right toes. Good. Put a little micro bend in your knee. And then we're going to balance on our tightrope. So one arm can come out. Maybe the other arm can float off the chair. Remember, don't let it float far. Feel free to stay here. So try to kind of rock forward and back until you find that balance right in the center. So there's equal weight on both legs. And then once we're here, everybody grab onto the chair for a moment and close your eyes. And just notice how those muscles activate a little bit differently as soon as we close our eyes, as soon as we lose one part of our balance or one component of our balance, which is our sight. So again, feel free to maybe float those fingers off the chair just for a second to challenge our balance and feel I've got lots of little muscles kind of jumping around to stay supported on my tightrope. Don't forget to breathe. And then holding onto the chair, open your eyes. Let's step off of our tightrope and shake it all out. How'd everybody do? All right, we've got to do that one more time with opposite feet because depending on which foot is in front can make a difference. So let's put our left foot out first. Right foot comes in front of left foot. Heel to toe if we can. If you need a little bit more space for stability, feel free. But we're working towards heel to toe. Little bend in both knees. Keep that spine long. One arm out, maybe both arms out. So again, find your balance here. Kind of rock forward and back if you can, maybe holding onto the chair until you find that center. Both legs are working, spine is long, we're breathing, we're not holding our breath. And then once you feel pretty comfortable here, holding onto the chair, close your eyes. And then we can challenge our balance here, however we'd like. Floating fingertips off the chair just for a second, maybe just lifting and lowering, but we don't want to go far from our chairs. We don't want to fall off our tight ropes. Can you imagine we're not even moving on our tight ropes, what it's like to be walking across a tightrope? Okay, one more breath and then holding onto the chair, let's come off our tightrope. Shake out both legs, do a little strut, roll the shoulders. Nice job, everybody. Have a seat. So once we come back to our seated mountain pose, feel free to drink some water, take a moment to breathe and check in with our bodies. We're going to give our bodies just a moment to absorb everything we've done so far in our practice. So we warmed up our muscles, we found our range of motion. And with our standing poses, we strengthened those muscles. So let's add a little bit of strength and flexibility from mountain pose. We're going to inhale, reach this right arm up like we're getting ready to climb a rope and pull it down, and then left arm. So again, you decide how high you want to climb. The next time this right arm reaches up and over, we're going to bring our gaze up to our thumb as well. So on our next inhalation, we're going to keep that arm straight. We're going to reach it back and down. We're going to follow that movement of our hand with our gaze and then follow it back up as we exhale. And here we go again. We're going to go back and down. This time, arm's going to go back and down, but we're going to turn our head and look over the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice opening across that shoulder and then back up. One more time, we're going to look the opposite direction. So we're not going to follow our hand. We're going to look away from our hand. Come all the way back up and then release that arm down. Take a breath or two here. Again, maybe already noticing a little bit of imbalance between the right and the left. So let's do a few more climbs. Left arm's going to start this time. The next time this left arm is extended up, we're going to bring our gaze up. Inhale, we're going to follow that arm as it reaches down and back. and follow it as it comes back up. And down and back. And up. Moving our arm that same direction 2 more times, but we're going to look opposite. And back up. And 1 more time, look opposite. And back up. And then release that arm down. Take a breath or 2 here. So this time we want to sit kind of close to the back of our chair. We're going to inhale both arms up. So we're going to start with our chin kind of tucked down, our arms overhead, whatever angle is good for you. On an inhale, we're going to bring both arms back and down, and we're going to lift our chin up. As we exhale, tuck the chin, bring the arms overhead. Inhale, opening back. And 1 more time. This time we're going to open. Arms are out, heart is lifted, maybe the gaze, and then we're going to hinge back and let our shoulder blades rest on our chair. So we don't want to be too far from the back of our chair, and we're just going to let our arms release. So gravity and the weight of our arms is gently opening up across our shoulders. If it's more comfortable for your gaze to stay straight ahead, feel free to do that. Or maybe just a little chin tilt up, or maybe a little bit more, but we don't want to hang our head back. That can damage the back of our neck, our cervical spine. Take 1 more inhalation, and as we exhale, we're going to start to reach our arms forward. And as they come forward, draw your belly in, float your back off the chair, and come back to mountain. Take a breath or 2 here. Just breathe into that space. So now that we're nice and open across our upper back and spine, let's work on the lower back. So scoot forward in your chair this time. We're going to inhale, arms overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward. Arms are going to float down and reach back. So spine stays long. So we're kind of like an airplane. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. So let's add a little bit of a stretch to the back of our body. Inhale, arms up. This time, right leg is going to extend straight out. So we want the heel on the floor, the toe up. So we're kind of on the edge of our chair. Left foot stays planted. Next exhalation, as we hinge forward, we're coming out over that extended leg. So we should feel a little more stretch. If we need to stop, bring our hands to our thighs, feel free to do that. Opening up that low back area, opening up the back of the hips. Again, we're listening to our body. We're finding our edge. The next time we float down, we're going to hold down. So hands can be on our thighs. Hands can be sliding along our leg. Arms can be reaching behind us. So we're lengthening from shoulders to fingertips, from spine, from crown of our head to the tailbone, from hip to heel. So lots of back of our body opening here. With our next inhalation, we're going to float back to center, bring that right foot in and take a moment and maybe feel some differences between the right and left side again. So let's move to the other side. We're going to extend the left leg out, heel down, toe up. Spine is long. Inhale, arms overhead. As we exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward. We don't have to hinge far. Arms reach behind. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge down. Let's do 1 more flow. And again, as we hold, hands can be on our thighs. Arms can be along that straight leg. Our arms can be reaching behind. Actively reaching through the fingertips, actively extending through the crown of the head, lengthening from hip to heel on the left side. 1 more inhalation, exhale. We're going to gently come back to center, slide that leg in. Give both legs a little shake, give both shoulders a little roll, and walk your feet wide. Stay at the front of your chairs. We're going to do our windshield. So we're going to gently drop the left knee, and the right knee. So as we do this, we're still listening to our body. We're finding our little windshield wiper, working our hips here. Good. The next time the left knee drops down, we're going to turn sideways. Plant the right foot, slide the left hip off the chair as well, and then slide that left leg back if we can. Keep it where it is, bring it forward. Again, we want to lengthen and open the quadricep and this deep hip flexor muscle. From here, feel free to add the left arm reaching overhead, adding a little bit of a back bend here. So we're not only lengthening through the left side of our body, we're opening the front of our spine. One more inhalation here. As we exhale, we're going to bring our arm down. We're going to bring our leg in, and we're going to slide back to center. Brief pause here, checking in to see how different one side of our body feels from the other. And then walking our feet wide. Let's do a few more windshields before we do the other side. The next time that right knee drops down, we're going to turn sideways. Plant the left foot, slide that right hip off. Take a moment to check in with our hip, keeping our knee farther forward, extending that leg farther back. Add that right arm if we'd like. Adding a little heart lift, a little gaze lift, crescent lunge. Breathing and holding here. One more inhale, exhale. We're going to float our arm down. We're going to float our leg back up, and we're going to turn to the front. Back to seated mountain. So let's do just a few gentle cat-cows to balance out the right and left sides of our low back and spine. Inhaling in cow, exhaling in cat. One more inhalation, one more exhalation. And then as we inhale, coming back to that neutral, long, strong spine, let's bring our hands together at our heart. We're going to end with one more seated twist. So we're going to keep our thumbs resting at our sternum. Nice long spine. As we inhale, gently reach to the crown of our head. Open up some space between each vertebrae of our spine. Exhale, we're gently going to twist to the right. Inhale, get a little more length in space. Exhale, maybe twist a little bit more. Maybe we can turn our head to look over our shoulder. Thumbs are still at our heart or at our sternum, palms together. Spine is long. We're actively breathing into our twist. One more inhalation, exhale. Let's gently untwist back to center. Take a breath here. Moving to the other side, inhale, lengthen our spine. Exhale, gently twist to the left. So we might notice that it's easier to twist one side than the other. Inhale, again, no competition, no expectations, no judgment, but just awareness. Is there something we do with our daily habits that causes this imbalance in our flexibility in one side of our body than the other? Just things to think about, to be aware of. As we breathe in our twist for one more breath. And then let's slowly come out of our twist. Come back to mountain. Float our arms to our side. Just do a few shoulder rolls. We're just going to roll back. Gently massaging out that upper back area. And then let's do just a few wrist circles. I know we didn't do any special finger and hand things today, but we'll get back to that next week. And then floating our hands on our lap. As we begin our transition into final relaxation, these last few minutes of our practice where our body has an opportunity to absorb everything we did. Feel free to grab your sweater, put your socks on, grab a quick drink, find a comfortable seated mountain pose, maybe scooting back so that we can lightly use the support of the back of the chair. We still want our 3 columns from crown of our head to tailbone, from shoulders to hips, chin parallel to the floor. You can always get on the floor and place your lower legs on the chair. Another, like an upside down chair, another way to really release and relax through the back. So to do that, we would just get down on the floor and we bring our lower legs onto the seat of our chair and lie down, and we can really release and relax the spine that way too. So that's just an option if you're okay with getting down on the floor. But we can stay in our seats. Feel free to close our eyes. Take a moment so we feel comfortable. We feel relaxed. We feel centered, supported on our chair, connected with our breath. Breathing in and out through our nose if that's accessible for us today. And let our breath flow naturally, smoothly, evenly, deeply. Each of us connecting with our unique rhythm of relaxing breathing. And as we breathe, let's bring our attention to the top of our heads. To relax all the muscles in our face, around our eyes, around our mouth, along our jaw. Relax the muscles in our neck, along the tops of our shoulders, across the front of our shoulders, across the back of our shoulders. Relax our arms, hands, and fingers. As we breathe, let's relax from the top of our head, down the back of our neck, along the length of our spine, all the way down to the tailbone. Relax the muscles between our shoulder blades. Relax the muscles across our low back. Let both hips relax comfortably to our chairs or the floor. Relaxing our legs, our feet, our toes. Feeling relaxed, feeling centered, our minds quiet and calm, connected with our breath. Let's enjoy final relaxation today. So please feel free to stay in final relaxation for as long as you'd like. But when we're ready, we're gently going to start to wake up our body, starting to gently move and stretch any way that feels good. Feel free to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, stretch the arms and legs, roll the shoulders. Taking our time, gently waking up our muscles and joints. And with our eyes open or closed, let's bring our hands together at our hearts. Taking these last few moments of our practice this morning to just enjoy this moment, the relaxing rhythmic flow of our breath, the strength of our spine, the alignment of our bodies, feeling relaxed, feeling at peace. As we take our last inhalation, gathering up everything that we're feeling at this moment. And as we exhale, let's draw it into our hearts, sealing it there to bring with us from our practice into our day to enjoy through our weekend. Namaste.
Thank you.